Well, it's winter again. Talk about that and
was
more
Sunday.
right after this.
What? Acceptable.
Anytime it's 31 degrees when I wake up in the morning, it's winter as far as I'm concerned.
It's
I don't care
winter.
what the calendar says.
I think it was 28 at my house.
Yeah. I just looked at my watch, so I don't know.
Yeah,
my
it
watch
was,
reports to tell me what the temperature is.
2 mornings in a row of having to cover my garden and
Yeah.
not be happy.
I put my winter sweater on this morning.
Yeah. I had my favorite team's playing later today in
Oh.
European Championships, but I had to put the flannel over the top. So.
Yeah.
But it's going to be 70 and sunny and
2 days.
today.
I was
Today. It's
Yeah.
going to be gorgeous.
Yeah, it is going to be nice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just have to get through the morning
Holy
hours.
cow.
Just
Okay.
wrap up quick, hopefully. It doesn't seem breezy, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some rain over the weekend. That was fun.
Did we? Did we?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mowed last night because I needed to mow last week before it rained, and I
Yeah.
couldn't. I didn't have time, so I just sat there. I'm like, I'm going to have to bale hay
Yeah.
by the time I finally
Bumper
get to
crop.
cut. Yeah, for
My
sure.
my
It took
yard is
forever.
still too damp to mow.
Oh,
It
I-
hasn't dried
I
out
waited till
enough.
last
Yeah.
night with the sun and the wind, but it was still
That's-
a challenge.
I'm probably going to have to wait until Saturday to do it.
You should probably just never mow again.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Well, I'm
Pasture
down with
land.
that.
I'm
That
going
sounds-
with a
sounds
natural
good to me.
landscape in my yard. you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It is the
we did need the rain.
badly.
It's just
yeah,
hard
we
when
did.
you get it all at once and it has nowhere to go.
And it
Yeah.
floods the whole town. And,
Yeah.
Oh,
you
man.
know. That's,
Poor West Plains.
oh, my goodness.
Tornado,
WP.
floods.
Ooh, we're having a rough go.
It's been a rough go for sure.
I went to a funeral on, was it Thursday or Friday? Friday. And it was one of the best services I've ever been to because the people talking did just an exceptional job of, just relaying this person's life. It was really, and it got me thinking, like, what are funerals going to be like in 40 years? Because I will say, the boomers, they've got some good stories.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some really good stories.
Yep. Well, you get past what there's, how many years of us left. I guess there's a lot, really, before everything has just been recorded digitally. You know, I mean, you've got all the pictures and video on your cell phone, and it all exists in perpetuity. Except Facebook has told us all they're deleting your old live videos.
Uh-huh.
And
I know.
Kind of like I don't think I care.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
I
because you
care.
think about the older generation, you're digging through shoe boxes,
Yeah.
Pulling out old scrapbook photos,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
so you get these snapshots. So I think it's easy to have these warm, fuzzy feelings. You can just focus on the good memories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas there's going to be a whole lot of incriminating videos,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, we know you a
So
little
many
too well.
videos.
Digital
That was
record.
deep.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
one
it's
thing too
interesting.
is there was a lot of discussion about the high school and school that he had gone to, and I thought people of that generation that are I'm going to say age 60 to 65 and up, I feel like we're much more attached to their schools, and it makes sense. Like they're the generation of the school reunions, the what is that called? Class reunions.
Class
Class
reunion.
reunion, yeah.
They're the generation of they were into their class reunions because you didn't have social media, right?
Yeah.
But it makes sense because, I mean, you're only exposed to so much if you went to school in the, up until about, I don't know, the 80s or, because we just weren't as connected as a global type thing.
Well, you said attached to their school. I would just say attached and in relationship on a deeper level in general.
Your community.
Their community.
Your community.
Yeah.
So you're going to have funerals now of people, and you'll say they worked for such and such company for 40 years, 50 years. In 40 years, you're going to hear people saying he had 50 different jobs over his 60-year career. You
And,
know?
the service will be live streamed.
Yeah, it's
People
right.
will be attending from
Yeah.
home. via
It
Zoom.
definitely will be different. I think just the fact that you
it's
called
gonna-
it funeral is interesting because now we soften that and say things like celebration of life.
Well, I guess this technically
Right.
was a celebration of
Right.
life because,
Right.
I mean, it was not your traditional funeral.
Right.
It was in a funeral home, but it definitely wasn't a traditional
Yeah.
funeral.
But those words matter, right?
Yeah.
We want to focus on the life and we don't want to think about the death part, which is a change in culture.
Yes.
We don't
100%.
like to think about death. Let's frame this as positively as possible.
You
And
know,
so we say things like celebration of life rather than because that's one of the reasons I love funerals is because it causes you to focus on death. You
can't-
are going to have one too.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't
and
think,
that's-
I don't think you can
that's
go to a
what-
funeral and not have a little self-reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to,
I
right?
agree. One of the most interesting things that was said in it, though, is he was from Poplar Bluff, and so
Thank you for saying poplar.
Blah, blah, blah.
Popular bluff.
Poplar, no.
Blah, blah,
and
blah.
he in the '60s, the law was passed to desegregate schools across
Oh, wow.
the country, and that happened in Poplar Bluff, and there was an African American school, and instead of what I understood from the story, and I could be wrong here, is that that to me would think, okay, they take the African American school and they disperse it into the white school. That's not what they did. They took the South kids who were,
Send them to Malden and
and
Donovan.
the white school, and they put them into the African American school.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very interesting to me. I was like, you think this stuff is like ancient history. I mean, it's not.
Well,
it was very interesting.
Speaking of ancient history, we were watching
Years ago.
TV the other night, and it comes on the screen and it says 30 years ago, and I'm just watching. Okay, 30 years ago, and I'm in my head, 30 years ago is the 60s.
Oh,
Every time I think
Yeah.
about
That's
30 years
college.
ago,
That's
is the 60s, and I'm like, nope, 30 years ago, yeah, that's the 90s.
Yeah.
Time is so weird.
Wow.
Yes, I don't know. It was very interesting. It made me think, like, man, I don't know what people are going to say at my funeral.
I always
or my
say,
celebration of life.
yeah.
Be like, you can go back and review the waffle.
Yeah, just
See-
best of.
Best
We're
of
going to
the
show
waffle.
When did
best of
Facebook delete
clips.
these? Not soon enough.
Oh boy.
Here we are. We're in season 425 of the waffle.
Will you guys come do the waffle at my celebration of life?
Yeah.
We've got some early
Just
biblical-
over here in the
We could-
corner.
we
We got the booth set up.
We can and Bernie's,
Hey, we're
Jeff.
live here from Ballard's celebration of life.
Ballard
Oh,
is
come on
serving
now.
his
I'm older than all of you,
mouth.
so
Yeah, but
Oh man, here's Will getting politely angry in a political thing. Ballard's putting his foot in his mouth.
we're gonna look at the best of here.
Lauren has misquoted something.
we did talk a little bit kind of off air about some of the scams going around. I think that's, just if you haven't seen it, the one that I asked Lauren when she got in, I said, why is it always about the vent cleaning? Why are we seeing all these, and the one I saw says, please help my small business. I'm struggling. I'm going under, we clean vents and we, it's like there can't be that many people that have a vent cleaning. I mean, I think we know somebody that's a legit vent cleaner.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had mine done, but
We're
Well,
not
it's like-
saying all duct cleaners are
No.
scams.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
it-
Lauren,
We're saying
sorry,
there are
Emma
many duct
commented.
cleaning scams.
Lauren will always be remembered for her shins.
The shins.
Yeah,
Shins,
that's right.
The shins. I'm sorry. What were you saying, Chris?
I was saying not all duct cleaners are scams, but
Right.
many scams are duct cleaning scams.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it is a really weird, and I've thought about that a lot. Like, why did they pick that particular profession and just go bananas on it? And in fact, I've never seen another profession so specifically defined as that one.
Yeah. Well, predators prey on
Yeah.
what you don't know and on people that don't know things. So
I guess.
the classic example is, somebody who obviously doesn't know anything about cars has taken their car into some sketchy mechanic, and they take you for everything. Like, well, you don't really need this, but you don't know, so I'm going to tell you this is what we're going to do, and this is what it costs, right?
Well, you
So-
can't see inside your ducts. So
right, and
you
that's
don't
my
know.
point is, so what people can't
Arcane.
see and what people can't understand, they're just very vulnerable.
I'll tell you what I deal with all the time is, I do estate planning and we record deeds and we do LLC formations and we
Yep.
do all this registration stuff with the state. Well, that's all public information when you record a deed or anything like that. And my clients are constantly getting mailed. You've probably seen it in
Yes.
the real estate. Constantly getting mailed this letter that looks like it's an official notice. It looks
From
like
the
you
Secretary
have.
of State. Yeah.
It's not from the Secretary of State. But
It
it
looks
looks
like
it
it.
looks like
Yeah.
it. And basically, they're saying, official copy of your recorded legal documents and send us $79. And I mean, you get it. It's free. I mean,
Yeah.
the documents are free.
Domain
Yeah.
names, too.
Yeah, you'll
a
get them
lot
on
of
domain
those.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll send you a renewal slip, and then you end up transferring who your registrar is for all of that. So yeah, we see that all the time.
Constant.
One thing I saw in the news this morning as I was watching that I thought was interesting is the use of AI now in scams because it's making it even worse. And what they're apparently doing, the example that this was given was that they'll call you and say, "Hey, we've got your son, and
Yeah.
we're demanding, $50,000
Wow.
ransom." And you say, "Let me talk to him," and they've cloned their voice. Yeah, so we're actually in significant danger of that happening because our voice is out there so much now
Yeah.
that people could take the
That's
samples
spooky.
from the waffle and create an AI clone of our voice.
And to be clear, back to Lauren's reference of me sticking my foot in my mouth, that was AI generated. That was
Yeah.
not me.
We've
anything,
been on the front lines
anything
of AI
incriminating.
for a while
this
now.
is all deep fakes.
Yeah.
We're not really
The
here.
whole show is a
We've
deep
never
fake.
done the show.
Never.
Lauren has never mentioned her shins in her life,
Never.
to be clear.
Fake news and AI generated deep fakes. The whole thing. Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of when I saw the deep fakes is everybody was going to they're going to make videos and make it look like you're doing something. I'm like, nope. You're going to do something and then you're going to blame it on a deep fake when
Yeah,
the video
that's
comes
it.
out.
It goes both
Yeah,
directions.
It goes
Oh,
both
man.
ways. Yeah.
It's going to get to a point where I don't even know how I'm going to process that, where you're just like, I don't know what's real or not. No clue.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She's there. She's real.
Yeah.
That's the joke my daughter and I have. We always say, "You're not real."
You're not real.
We always say
You're
to
not
each other,
real.
"You're not even real.
That's not real.
You're not even
anything
here
real?
right now."
Is anything real?
Yeah.
Well, I had a thought and then I lost it. It left.
It wasn't real.
There's an old, now it's got to be an ancient science fiction story. It's probably from the 60s or something about a guy who didn't believe anything existed if he couldn't see it. And he ended up out in space and so his world completely went away because there was nothing for him to see. So he couldn't,
Wow.
He couldn't see his own body. So it was interesting.
Interstellar, was that? No, just kidding.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Somebody wrote something a long time ago.
behind the
and I read it
bookshelf.
Once.
No, I mean, but you're talking about as realtors, we're facing all these new onslaught of scams as well. Like people, it's so weird. They basically find like a property that's not occupied or land or something, and they pretend to be the seller. And that's happening where people are selling
property
property
they don't own.
that they don't own. And often that gets caught. Other things are, a realtor posted this yesterday. A referral company is like sending, let me think about what she said. The referral company is sending letters directly to her clients. And then when she's like her clients, long-term clients, and then when she sells the house, completely unrelated to them, they're then looping around and saying, you owe us a referral fee because we sent you the referral. She's like, no, you didn't. These are my clients. Like, how is very bizarre. And it's like changing constantly.
Well, apparently it's like, the whole thing where you just make up a company and make up a bill and send it to the federal government and they just pay it.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
That was one of the things that we found out is that, with the GAO, the Government Office of Accounting or whatever, is their policy is to pay bills, really without even checking.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been sending bills to the wrong people.
Yeah, no kidding. So, but that's one of the things that Elon Musk and his team kind of uncovered that I think didn't get a lot of airtime, but that's huge.
That doesn't
That is
surprise me
huge.
one
That's
bit.
huge. And there's no coding in the transaction log of the GAO from however back. So you look in there and it's like a check to this place. You don't know what it was for.
There's no
You know,
chart of accounts. Wow.
You don't know. There's
insane.
nothing.
Terrifying.
Just send a check to this person. Crazy.
Terrifying.
Man, I should have been sending
Well,
invoices.
I wish
this
I'd known
whole
about
time.
that, a couple of years ago.
No doubt. I would have
Could've-
been billing him for my services.
I know, right?
And I mean, let's be honest. If people can figure out a way to scam people, they will do it.
They will do
and
it.
they've been, I don't think there's any doubt. Well, there shouldn't be any doubt in anybody's mind that people have been scamming the government. But I don't know.
Well, and if you're really good at it, you want to get elected, and then you really have control of the reins.
That's right.
I'm sleepy. I should
It's
have had more
crazy.
coffee.
Yeah, you want some coffee?
Ooh.
There's a
I
pretty good
don't
shop
understand.
down the.
I don't
down
understand the process of
down the
borrowing
sidewalk.
money from
coffee
China,
shop right down the sidewalk. Just
giving
saying.
it back to China in foreign aid, and then having China funnel it back to Act Blue to support the campaigns of Democratic legislators that vote to borrow the money from China, give it back to China in foreign aid, back around their account, and it's a big shell game.
I think it's probably more mind blowing than all of us can.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Imagine.
I'm sure it is.
That's why
I mean,
nobody wants to pay attention to it.
Well, they're tracing the money now. That's what's got everybody scared. Is they're with all their AI
Drawing the
and their. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty nerdy, but they got me 10 times. I mean, exponentially more nerdy and smarter than I am. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Emma's got a new comment on here. It's a new generation of thieves. They are very hardworking these days. So
Isn't that
But
crazy?
Emma, enough of that. When can I buy some plants from you? When do you open
Yeah.
up?
It's the
that's
14th.
important.
I know that.
That's coming up.
It's coming up.
When is that? Is that
It's it'll be like Tuesday.
Tuesday,
I
next
think.
Tuesday.
Emma, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be open on the 14th. I think that's the number I've seen in my head as I've driven by.
Emma, drop a line. Let us know.
Drop a line and let us
she'll
know.
tell us. Maybe we can get if you drop in the comments, maybe we can get it on the screen for you.
We would. Yep. Can't wait to be there.
You're talking about the coffee shop, though. Did they bring Honey Bunches of Oats back? Did you
Yeah,
see that?
Honey
That-
Bunches of cold brew
I
is
saw
on
that.
tap.
Oh man,
So
that's
good.
a good one.
Isn't it amazing how
That's
it
a good
literally
one.
tastes like Honey Bunches?
It does.
really does.
That's my
It's
favorite
the
cereal.
real deal.
I don't eat it much, but Honey Bunches
Yeah,
of Oats is my favorite
it is.
cereal. So Honey Bunches cold brew is like
It's so tasty.
it's
Yeah,
amazing.
you need to
It
get.
does taste good.
You need to get. Did you see our young entrepreneur thing?
Yeah, that's cool.
It is so cool. It's amazing.
There it is.
There
April
it is.
14th.
Monday.
That's a
I will be
Monday.
there. I'll see
that
you.
would be a Monday. Yeah.
I will see you there. And if you need me to come earlier for a special preview, just to make sure your systems are go, I could maybe come before Monday. Just let me know. All right. Yeah. Anyway, it was so cool. These young people who
That's awesome.
want to be in business. I love that.
I love that too.
In fact, I'm meeting with another young man. Have you seen the? Is it Deer Creek Hat Company?
I followed
I've
them.
got it wrong.
I liked them on Facebook
I'm
this
meeting,
morning.
I'm meeting him tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
To talk about what he's doing.
That's cool.
I don't know if we'll have his stuff or not, but I just want. I love young entrepreneurs, so I just want to meet him and
Yeah, no,
encourage
that's
him
neat.
because we'll be doing a showcase in the fall. So any young entrepreneur can come showcase what they've got, and then I'm going to put together a business panel or a panel of businessmen, and we'll give a grant away to
How
the
young
winner.
do you have
Cool.
to be to
So
qualify?
it's 12, yeah,
Will's
12,
like,
12
hello.
to 18.
No.
So bring out your division and see
Will's
if
like,
you can.
I do estate planning. So Will, go
Yeah.
back to your office.
I don't know, there's something about that is so cool because we're talking about scammers, people
Yeah.
wanting to make money out of nothing, and scamming people. The idea of teenagers coming up
That's
with
cool.
business plans and going for it that's the stuff we ought to be talking about. That's
agree.
legit. That is so neat.
I
It gives me hope for the future
Yeah.
that, we got young people not looking for free money, a handout. They want to work and they want to
produce.
They want to
something.
produce something.
There is so much standing in their way now, though.
Oh, I agree, but that's why I want to help them. That's why, okay, can we coach you and teach you and help you along? Like that, to me, that's just awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's super cool.
So if you want to donate to the Young Entrepreneur Showcase, let me know. We're gonna collect some funds to be able to give grant money to the winner of the competition this fall. So
That's
just
very
let me know.
exciting.
Yep.
Well, and I will say, I mean, I definitely feel like there is a desire to buy locally produced things. I probably more than ever. I think that was your only option, and then you kind of got opened up to all of the options in the world, and now you're like, if I could buy something local, I'd like to do that. But
Sure.
yeah.
Well, when I was talking to Emma, I think it was last year, the year before last, she was talking about the fact that the plants she's selling are all locally grown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to one of the big box stores or something, they're shipping those.
Shipped in
They're
from all
shipped
over the
in
place,
from
yeah.
all over the
Yeah.
place, and so they've
Yeah.
already
May not-
had
yeah.
2 or 3 days or weeks or whatever, I don't know, in a truck or all that stuff, and hot
Yeah.
and cold and all that. And
So it may not be
they're
ideal for Southwest Missouri.
Correct.
It's going to be burdened by the travel and what
Stress.
have you.
Yep.
It might have diseases coming from other parts of the country.
Sorry, I just had like a vision of like a plant leper, like
You've seen it.
I'm here.
They're susceptible.
Shanda.
I
Hi,
have-
Shanda.
Little
Hello, Shanda.
little zombie plant.
I have some disease. I've spread it to your garden.
Got to get some.
my head's going to real random places this morning.
I just
don't think I had enough
had a flashback vision of Plants vs. Zombies. The old,
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Good times. Good times.
It's funny. I went through my phone the other day and I was just started deleting stuff because I'm just like, I don't even know what this app is. I don't know why I
Yeah.
downloaded
I do
it.
that.
I don't mess with that anymore. Just delete. It was crazy.
I'm trying to get my Facebook page back on track. Instead of sharing one of those things that say copy and paste it to remove all the ads from your
Oh, yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
page, I am trying to get it back to.
That doesn't work, by the way.
Obviously, but I'm trying to get it back to like what. Okay, so Facebook has conveniently pushed the like the reels and the videos, live videos, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because guess what? They don't have to store them anymore. Duh,
Yeah.
they're deleting them.
Yep.
So, like a lot of people have switched currently to a model of posting their videos in live or in a reels type format, and where it shows at the top of the page.
Yep.
And that's really convenient for Facebook because again, they're going to delete your information. They don't have to hold it in the giant server farms. However, all that works. But what mine does is it all of a sudden it'll kick in like all of the groups that I follow, and that's all I see. I don't see anybody's posts.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, you're welcome, Emma.
You're
Thank
awesome
you.
too.
Yeah.
So I've been going through, and I'm not unfriending people to be a jerk, but I was kind of unfriending some people that were from like a phase of life that I probably won't ever really see again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, and they don't care about.
We don't interact.
We don't interact. I don't know you.
Yeah.
To try to get it back to some sort of normal.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe there's a new normal.
We spent 15 years in the taekwondo world, and so I have all
Yeah.
these taekwondo friends, and I've kind of went.
Yeah.
I don't intentionally go looking for them, but when stuff pops up that they post, I mean, it's like,
I know.
because I'm just like, I'm
Unfollow,
never
yeah.
going to see you
Yeah.
again.
That's how I am with back when I was a youth pastor. I used to speak at camps, and everybody's disciple now, and so
Yeah.
I speak for one weekend, and these
And
kids are
then
like,
people
"I'm gonna
friend
add,"
you, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
who is this person? Oh, I spoke to them
Yeah.
Yeah.
18 years ago for 2 days.
Yeah.
and-
Today it was like people that the kids went to daycare with in Springfield that, we have
Yeah.
I haven't seen them in years now.
Good morning, Jim.
And it's like,
Glad you're watching.
That's different. Like, I mean, there's kids I coached when they were 5, and
Yeah.
I'm friends with their parents. I may not know them well, but it is kind of fun to still kind of, oh, look at that. They're graduating high school. Wow, I'm old.
Yeah.
I coached them when they were 3.
Well, my wife related a story last night, and
Oh, they're getting married. They have
I
kids
was
now.
going to say,
she
my baby back.
she actually posted about it on Facebook because she was in an elevator, and there was like. You saw it?
I saw that.
And like, a mom and her baby were there in the elevator, and somebody walked in and made a comment, but basically the gist of the comment was implying that Shelby was the grandmother of this. And Shelby said she said, that's the first time anybody's ever mistaken me for like
Mistaken
a grandmother.
identity for a grandma.
Grandma. She's like, I'm totally old enough. I totally could have been there.
That could be my
It
baby.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be my
She's like
grandbaby.
externally having this inner dialogue. And
Yes.
you're like, get away from the crazy lady.
I had one
Is
of
that
those.
my grandbaby?
I had one of those awesome compliment insults last week in the gym. Did I tell you this?
The backhanded
No.
compliment.
No.
So I'm getting after it, and this young guy who's really getting after it too comes up to me. He's like, "You're really giving us young guys a run for our money." And I'm like,
Oh.
I said this. I thought I was one of the young guys. And the look on his face, like backpedaling, it's all right, man. But it was funny. I was like, wow, that's both a compliment and you little punk, get back to work.
Yeah. Well,
Get out of
I
here.
am young and vibrant.
That's right.
I'll get clients
You're
that come
really
in.
getting after it for an old guy.
Well, I have clients that come in and they're maybe in their 60s, and they'll be like, well, in our generation, and people around our age, I'm like,
you're
Wait a second, bud.
you're within a decade, bro.
I know. Well, I was doing one of those little form fill out things where you got to like select your age range, and the next to last one was
You're playing
something.
The Price is Right with that
Yeah.
wheel.
That's when you go to the year when you're finding your birth year.
Still going.
But it was like like 45 to 54. I'm like just under the wire.
One more year. then.
One more year, and I got to pick the very last. I'm in the top end of that thing.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I was cracking up earlier when Lauren said, funerals, like these people in their 60s, and I'm going,
Yeah.
Will and I are a lot closer
Yeah,
to that
it's like
than we want to
60 is less than 6 years away. Yeah. Now my family, almost everybody in my family lives into their 80s or 90s, so I'm counting on
Gives them
that.
plenty of time to go bonkers.
I have plenty of time. Yeah, most of them keep their
That's
their
kinda
wits
how my
about them.
family is.
Not all of them. but-
Typically, we're in the 80s, if not 90s.
You're in really good
but-
shape for almost being dead.
What's interesting is, they say the average lifespan is like 76 or whatever, but because that's includes infant deaths and infant mortality,
Right.
things like that. The longer you live, your chance of
Older you
reaching an older age increases.
Oh,
The
okay.
older you get,
made
the
it
more
past
likely
birth.
it is.
Good job. You're going to be okay.
The more likely you're going to,
Yeah.
if once you make it to 76, you've actually got a fairly decent chance of making it to 80
90.
and
You're
90.
gonna keep
yeah.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So the older I get, the longer I'm going to live.
That sounds so dumb, and yet it's actually true.
It's true. It's factually accurate.
That sounds so dumb. I like. That's funny. I just, dumb is another word you
Yeah.
just don't hear as
don't-
much
yeah,
as you
yeah.
used to.
Yeah. There's other ones
That's
that I won't
dumb.
say.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Everybody's going to get
with that
offended.
mouth.
You're going to get offended at somebody.
Oh,
Somebody's
man.
going to get mad. Is that I'm dumb? Well, here the word I think oftentimes gets a bad rap is ignorant.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
very ignorant about all kinds of things.
Right.
And all that means is I don't know
Everybody
about
is.
it. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Well-
It doesn't mean I lack intelligence. It just means I don't know anything
And
about
this
that.
is why it matters that you can speak hillbilly, right?
Yes.
Because
Amen, brother.
ignorant means a lack of knowledge. Ignorant
Ignorant.
is just
Ignorant.
plain stupid.
Yeah, it's true.
Ignorant.
Yeah.
All right.
Which
So
is-
just get those two terms
You're
right.
going to go hunting or you're going to go fishing.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
be ignorant.
Don't be ignorant about it. Got to be smart. Got to be smart.
There's your hillbilly language lesson for the day.
Language
That was I did a little research to see about what the Ozarks hillbilly, if there was any dialectic distinctives, and
Okay.
the one that I remember was what do they call it? Predicate a, and I just demonstrated it. So
Yeah.
and you guys probably didn't even notice.
A fishing.
I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to
fishing,
go
yeah.
hunting. I'm going to go swimming.
I'm gonna go swimming.
And that's an Ozark hillbilly language thing that you'll only hear from people that are from around here, I
Yeah.
guess. So if you hear that predicate a sound on a verb,
Yeah.
they're from
You
the
might be
Ozarks.
from the
You might be
Ozarks.
from the Ozarks.
Going to fishing.
An
that fun?
Ozarkian.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I tell you what, I don't know if I'm coming or going today. It's been a busy week and it's Tuesday morning.
Yep.
I went down a rabbit hole this morning. Probably nobody wants to go with me, but
We might. I mean, go ahead. Give us
Well,
the
I
time.
was thinking, man, did we make it all the way through the show without saying the word tariffs?
well, not now.
I said tariffs.
No, the Supreme Court last night
Yeah,
sided
yeah.
with Trump
Yep.
on. And I
Deporting
wanted on the
Venezuelan, gang
on the
members?
Alien Enemies Act
Yeah.
thing, whatever it was. And so they're like, yeah, you can do it.
video game.
It was 5-4. So there was a split, and so I actually wanted to see what they did. So I actually went and I pulled the opinion and I read it this morning, and it was interesting. But
Who
but
wrote it?
I don't remember who wrote it actually.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't John Roberts because he's been kind of wonkers on all this stuff. hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, Roberts and Barrett, you just can't count on them.
Yeah.
You know, you got Gorsuch. I think Gorsuch wrote it, actually.
Okay.
You've got Gorsuch, Alito,
That would make sense
and Thomas.
to write this one.
You know, that are solidly correct almost all the time. And then you've got Barrett, which oftentimes will side with the conservatives, but it's shocking how many times she goes the other way. And then Roberts is always like so really Barrett's and Roberts are your swing votes on everything. And then Ketanji Brown Jackson, golly, can I remember them all?
I was going to say, are we going to get them all listed here? How many is
Elena
the total?
Kagan and
I should know this off the top of my
You
head.
got
I already
more.
say
You got
Ketanji
two
Brown
more.
Jackson.
How many is the total? Is it
Nine.
nine?
Nine.
That's what I was thinking.
For now.
Yeah, for now, yeah. Well, we've already. I mean, we didn't used to have 9. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
right.
an expanded.
Right.
I've forgotten Elena Kagan, and I've forgotten one.
I can't help
As
you.
I said, Ketanji Brown Jackson and
Yep.
Elena Kagan. Who is it?
All right. You can move on from that.
Yeah. Move on. Back to your point.
Back
All
to your, what was the
Well, I don't
opinion?
know that I had a
you
point.
You read the.
You were talking about what the opinion
Well, then I
was.
started looking.
Opinion.
I'm like, well, all their opinions are right here, and I just started going down and look at. I'm like, oh, I'm going to look at this one. I'm going to look at this one. And
Yeah.
so there's like.
Oh, so you started diving deep
Oh
into
yeah,
it.
yeah. I
I
started looking at all different kinds of Supreme Court decisions. Like I said, nobody wants to go with me. That's where I went.
I think I'm just gonna scroll more TikTok. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Oh man.
I was reading Supreme Court decisions for fun this morning, I guess.
Said no one ever.
Other than me just now. I don't
Well,
know.
that's fun. That's fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to it being warmer this afternoon. So
Yeah,
Yep,
me too.
It does appear.
It's here.
Forecast is, and we're getting to that time, right?
Yeah. We were still gonna have some cold snaps because
It'll
it's April,
happen.
but we've gotten through. With everybody gets excited in March. We forget that lots of storms come in April that bring cold and hot,
Yes.
and May's just around the corner. So
when is Easter? Is this coming weekend?
this
No.
Sunday is Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we
So
got
next week
Easter.
is Holy Week,
Yeah.
and
Easter's
then
a little late this
Easter,
year.
man.
Yeah.
A little later than, I don't know. I mean, what's
Well,
about
last
the
year,
latest
like-
Easter can be?
It's close to it. This one.
Yeah.
Actually, this may be the latest.
About the latest it can be?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
think
don't
so.
think it would go the last week of April.
What is, and I should know
it's on the
this.
lunar
Well,
calendar.
it's-
The
yeah.
Jewish calendar is
What does set it? Because I
It's
should know
like
that, but I
the
can't remember.
Passover.
Yeah.
Is that what it
something
is?
something after the first full moon of something whenever is how you figure out when like things like
Gotcha.
Easter are going to be. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
I didn't.
really-
I've looked that up before, but that it didn't stick in my
Are
head.
there any other?
It's Jewish.
Well, yeah, I guess when we're doing things that are saying, the first Monday, or third Monday,
Yeah.
like then those are going to be on different dates every
Right.
year. I was just thinking,
This
there-
is the only one that's set on the
lunar
lunar
calendar,
calendar,
yeah,
the
that's-
Hebrew calendar.
yeah.
That's interesting.
The only
Very interesting.
the only holiday we have.
That's
Yeah.
what, because you can have huge swings in Easter, like
Mm-hmm.
huge
Yeah.
different time frame. Huge.
Well, and you
time
have to if you're going to really honor what's going on there.
Yeah.
Because there's
If you're Muslim, Ramadan's the same way, except that it can actually be at any time of the year. This year, Ramadan and Lent overlapped. So,
Interesting.
yeah,
that is interesting.
fun for me because I was
interesting.
praying for Muslims during Ramadan that they would have Isa dreams, visions of Jesus, and
Yep.
come to the faith during Passover or during Lent,
Yeah.
rather.
Well, I'm going to do an estate planning workshop tonight. So,
That's
if
nice.
you're bored tonight and want to come, see the show, we're
I'll
going to
be
do that
in
right here at the law firm,
Carl Junction,
6 p.m.
coaching a
Oh,
girls
that's a
soccer
drive.
game.
Very
It is-
nice.
Yeah, this week is not fun. We go to
Nice.
Carl Junction tonight. We go to Cassville on Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Seas.
Hitting the seas, the long drive seas.
Oh, yeah.
Cassville. That's the one that's kind of
Drive to Monette and head south.
okay. Or
Just keep on going.
When I used to have to go there, I that's the way I used to go, and then
Go south at Aurora, and then
I'd go through Galena.
oh, that's a longer drive, but the beautiful drive.
It is. It's a much much
Yeah. If you
nicer
if you
drive.
head south on 39 at Aurora and then at Jenkins, head over on, I think it's 76, 86
Something like
to
that.
Cassville. It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
But I'll be on a bus, not doing that.
Yeah, that won't be fun. Oh,
I'll have my laptop
I
and
am-
just AirPods in, working.
Oh my gosh, I would just be barfing the entire time if I was trying to look at a
kidding.
computer.
I get used to
and
it.
I hate buses so much, and I had to ride one a ton, just doing cheerleading and other sports and stuff. So I was riding buses a lot. I get motion sick terribly.
Yeah.
I mean, it is terrible. And basically, if I'm not driving in a vehicle, I am motion sick. That's it.
I'm just going to assume that if I'm getting on a school bus, I'm in the wrong place doing something the wrong thing at my age. And I think the last time I was on a school bus was when we were chaperones for the Logan Rogersville High School band when they marched in a parade in Hawaii. And so we flew out there with them, and they bussed us from Rogersville to, I think, Tulsa to catch a flight. It was like...
Well, I'm on a bus tonight as a consequence of being on a bus. You talk about being a chaperone. It was, golly, what, 2010 or something? I'm on a bus going to Project Prom, going all night long with a bunch of teenagers from Rogersville. And on that, one of the guys said, "Wait, you coach soccer?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, Katson's stepping down from the assistant coach. Why don't you be our
Really?
assistant coach?" And here I am. Was that 13, 14 years later, still doing it?
Still
No
doing it.
joke.
So I'm on a bus tonight as a consequence of being
What's
on a
gonna-
bus. So good
Maybe
job.
that'll lead
Stay
you
off
to another
buses,
bus.
Will.
I will.
Buses are not
It's
safe.
just going to lead you to another bus.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's been a wild ride. It's been fun.
can't tell you how much I loathe buses. I mean, they don't ever smell good. And
Try
so
being
here,
on
do
a
you-
sweaty soccer team bus. Yeah, especially the return.
Football.
Yeah.
I rode home on the football bus.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys have motion sickness? Much? Bad?
Not much.
Okay, so here's
I can.
I drive most of the time.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I do too, but
if I'm on a windy road in the passenger seat trying to be on my phone, I would probably, if it's really hilly and windy,
Yeah.
I'd be in trouble.
here's some of the problems with motion sickness.
Oh, boat today. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's
Oh.
anything here, but there is some stuff in other places.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why we don't see Beth
Yeah,
today.
that's probably why we don't see Beth.
So when you get motion sick, you smell becomes intensified.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you start yawning too. I don't really know what that's about. I think it's your brain is screaming for something to make it feel better, and the yawning doesn't help. But so, you combine school bus smell, makes me
Yep.
want to gag, with windy roads and motion sickness, it's the worst. Like I have almost a fear of buses
Yeah.
because it just,
What about motor coaches? How do you feel about a motor coach?
I've never spent any time on a large motor coach.
Well,
They're pretty great.
they're pretty nice. Yeah. Got a nice cushy seat.
It's-
better than an airplane seat for sure.
It's likely I would get motion sick on it, but
You
I
probably would.
probably could be better. I mean, it'd probably be better than a normal bus.
The thing is, you can stand up, you can walk around if you need to.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to, but
Yeah.
you can.
you
That
watch
helps.
Sure.
You can watch a movie on the TV.
We talk about all these like scientific discoveries, and like at the same time, people are like, oh, they've never cured the common cold and stuff. I wonder if anybody's ever really studied like a true cure for motion sickness.
Well, they don't want to
there's-
cure
I
the
mean,
diseases. You have
There's
to
little things like,
understand.
like
Will's
the
like,
wristbands
tinfoil hat's
and
coming off.
Dramamine helps a little bit, but did the
Ginger chews.
ginger chews? Yeah, I know.
Oh, they work.
She goes,
I'm sorry.
Not for me.
They're good.
Not for me. They
Yeah, I
don't
can't
work.
do it either. Yeah.
They work for my family. We
don't
The
work for me.
taste of the ginger chews is actually worse than you see what.
they're fine. They're great.
I
I
don't-
like
I
ginger
would-
in food, but ginger.
Right,
ugh,
I'm with you. I don't do straight ginger.
Nope. It's good in food. I don't
Yeah.
want it in a
Have
chew
you,
form.
have you tried the ginger chew?
Yes.
You've tasted it.
Yeah, they're gross.
Stomach's churning as we talk
disgusting.
about.
Okay.
it.
Well,
She has the gag reflex literally every time you say it.
Well, and again, it associates. My brain associates that taste with the motion
Trying to overcome
sickness,
motion sickness.
yeah.
and it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. And like as a kid, I would, your parents like insist as a kid, you've got to brush your teeth before we leave to go
Yeah.
to Springfield, right? And so we're in Houston and we're driving to Springfield.
And you got toothpaste.
And I got toothpaste mouth,
Yeah,
and I'm
ugh.
barfing between Houston and Kabul, and
Yeah.
it's a straight road.
You want
Yeah.
me to tell a motion sickness story?
I mean, go ahead.
Wow.
I'm already motion sick
So,
just
so
thinking
you know
about
the
it.
movie Up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So the setting there is the Guiana Highlands of southern Venezuela, where Angel Falls is. Right, Angel Falls, tallest waterfall in the world.
Right.
Just a skinny stream, but it drops a long way off of this massive mesa in the jungle, right? And so to get there, you either take a long boat ride or you take a small charter airplane.
So
It
I'm
has to be
never
small
going there.
because it's in a canyon, and so to see it, you're looping around this canyon, just looping.
I'm never
right?
going there.
In this tight little these banks are super intense as they're taking you in a circle so you can get several views of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the morning we were supposed to go, this is my whole family, southern Venezuela, 1987, right?
Okay.
We go and we try to get breakfast. Well, the little shop was closed, but there was a little juice bar. And so
Yeah.
rather than having substance, my brother, my sister, and I, we all got
Throw
a
down some
pineapple frozen juice drink. so sweet, no carbs, no protein.
Yeah, and if you're hungry, motion sick is
So
quadruply
we
worse.
get up in this canyon. It's my family of 5 and these 2 guests that have taken this trip on a fishing trip with my family to southern Venezuela, and this older couple.
Oh,
And so
no.
we're flying, we're
Oh,
circling, and my sister starts feeling it,
Yeah.
you know? And so she asked for the complimentary barf bag. Well, they're normally like, you can't see through them. They had Ziploc baggies.
Oh.
So the pineapple juice is now in the Ziploc baggie. Did I mention we're in a small airplane?
You did.
Did I mention it's a hot jungle? Right?
Yeah, well, I think
It was
that was
implied.
This is my nightmare.
So
This is
my brother
nightmare.
starts turning green. He's sitting next to me. I'm doing fine. I'm just trying to look at the waterfall. He finds a baggie, and next thing you know, I'll shorten the story. I need a baggie.
Yeah.
As I look over, and this older couple that's on this trip with us, I mean, their eyes are just wide, just like this is get me off of this plane.
Yeah, no
It was-
kidding. I
it was
can't
awesome.
imagine. That'd be
That's my
horrible.
Angel Falls experience. Such a beautiful, beautiful
barf story.
barf story.
Yeah. So Shanda commented a little ago about the scientist, asked if we read about the scientist in Dallas that revived the fire wolf.
I did hear that.
Yeah, I did hear that too. So
Jesse mentioned something
it's
about
just,
this, but I
it's
didn't have
like,
time to.
well, Jurassic Park. Here we go.
Yeah, they're trying to hatch eggs in Clara's chicken eggs in Clara's class. Sorry, I'm not getting that out very well. And Jesse goes, "What if they're dinosaurs, Clara?" And she was like, "What? What if it's a dinosaur?" And he goes, "They've brought a wolf back." And I was like, "What?"
Maybe a
This all
dinosaur.
happened this morning. I had no time to ask questions. So now Shanda's informed me, as she usually
Dire
does
wolf. That's right.
something.
Dire wolf. Yeah.
Dire wolf.
Yeah.
So we brought a wolf back.
Yeah.
Did we need to do that?
It was. I don't know.
I like fire wolf better. We're gonna
Yeah,
call it
I
fire
know. It breathes fire like a dragon.
It didn't read. It didn't read right to me, but I didn't want to question it. You know.
Something felt off when
Yeah.
you said it, but I thought, no, I caught the headline. I don't remember what it was
Yeah,
called.
that's the same way I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
But
So we brought it back. Like
Yeah.
what'd they do?
I don't-
Did they
I don't-
spawn? Did they
They spawned.
petri dish it?
I
and
think
it's
they
gonna
found-
Be
I don't-
implanted,
I don't
or
know.
did they
I-
find one?
I don't know. I'm
Find
assuming
me
they.
more details.
No.
second time
I
come
think
up
they
today.
got some.
It was a fire wolf being raised by a golden doodle. It was-
I'm assuming they either found some DNA
it's okay. It's being raised by a golden doodle.
or they
It's
created
fine.
it. It would be hilarious.
Very
That'd
docile.
be terrible if it's being raised by a golden doodle
It's hypoallergenic. It's fine.
and hyperactive,
Oh,
like a muppet.
Shanda also says that they are now on track to revive the woolly mammoth by 2028.
Good, because that's what we need. I need something else to hunt.
If I die by a woolly mammoth, I'm gonna be upset.
I hunt.
Okay, we're gonna have to get.
I know we gotta go.
We're gonna have to get more details about these and
Okay.
revisit this topic next
Okay.
Tuesday.
We can do that.
Fire wolf, unite!
And until then,
Woolly mammoth.
you
And
know,
by 2030, we're extinct. You
yeah,
know, like-
sounds. AI dinosaurs are going to take us out right there.
Right.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, anytime somebody.